Hey, what's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here and welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with a new short movie. The name of this short movie is What If Neglected Naruto Awoke a Dangerous Deity Within. And yeah guys, it is an unscripted short movie and my own idea. Now before continuing this, I'm sorry for not uploading regularly this month. It's just, it happens to me on every December of every year that I get sick. And similarly this year it happened again. Somehow I was lucky that it didn't happen last year, but yeah, I guess I'm kind of filling that quota as well because I have constantly gotten sick and healed again and again, with running down with fever as well as with a runny nose and all that. It's just I'm trying my best to rest and have been doing so, but yeah, so far the medicine hasn't been working. I have changed 3 doctors by now, which is the max limit. Hopefully it won't happen again because I am feeling better, have got my shots and all that. And yeah, even an IV drip so that all the something that is missing within me like glucose or whatnot will fulfill itself. So my honest opinion to all this is that, and conclusion to all this is that, stay safe guys. And yeah, don't think that if you are feeling alright even in a cold weather or a bit of warm weather, that yeah it's fine, I can handle it and all that. Don't do that, because that is the one thing that leads to all this. Anyways, enough of me yapping. I hope you guys enjoy this one, and if you do, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel and follow me on my other channels as well. And without any further ado, let's begin with our today's short movie. Our story begins with a cautious tale of the past, long before, when the elemental nations did not existed, and neither did any of the chakra. People were distributed into small clans or tribes, and they used to fight one another for more land and resources from the others through weapons. And these people were no different from today's shinobi world, because they were cruel, far much crueler than even the shinobi, some say, because they used to kill their enemies and take over their resources, but didn't stop there. They would go the extra length of capturing their women, torturing them, even their children, and also their older people. No one was spared. And seeing this, a deity of nature was born from the very rage and sorrowful and hopeful voices of the oppressed. A deity, half lion, half man, was created, and its name was Asura, the deity of wrath. Its only goal was to unleash fury upon those who oppress the people and burn everything down. Flames erupted from its sides, its mane glowing as the deity descended, and soon became the nightmare for the said people. And when all the flames settled, the deity has left back to the woods, giving people another chance so that they could learn from their mistakes, while taking the heads of all those leaders who were the tyrants. Years passed and Kaguya Otsutsuki arrived. Humanity at the time has rebuilt itself from the ground up, and that is when it all fell apart again. People, because of their greed, targeted Kaguya, and she turned evil because of that. She killed her husband and those who tried to kill her, and then took her newborns with her. She became an oppressor in herself and raised her children to be as such. But Hagoromo and Homura both realized just how cruel their mother was, who was taking the lives of innocent people for her own goal, some of them being even their childhood friends who they have grown up with. And that is when Asura, being enraged and having had enough, descended for the second time. And this time it faced Kaguya in the midst of the battle between her and her children. As the 10 tails arrived, Asura erupted with a roar and stood on its feet, one of the hands and fingers pointing towards the beast. "I will slay down this beast. Take care of that woman until I am done with it." With that, the huge titan of rage leapt into the air and clawed down onto the huge eye of the 10-tailed Shinju. Shinju tried its best to push the deity away, but it couldn't. In the end, Due to a chokehold, Asura was able to defeat Shinju, causing it to be passed out cold. Impossible, said Kaguya. Who are you? I am Asura, the deity of wrath, created by nature because of all those cruelty that you have done. And now I have descended again for the second time, because the first time you all did not heed my warning. I will end you and this whole world, because all it does is cause pain. And at that moment, both Hagoromo and Homura realized that even if it seems that Asura was on their side, it wasn't. It was brought, and its only goal was one thing: end humanity once and for all, because all they do is cause pain and torment. But Lord Asura, what about those innocent? You think I don't know? My flames will only take their soul away, like plucking a flower. That is how much pain they will feel, while the others, I'm gonna rip them to shreds. I'll bathe in their blood, and my rage will only be silenced when I do so, starting with your mother. With that, Kaguya tried to escape, because if Shinju was defeated by this being without any scratches, she would have a hard time. But that is when Hagoromo and Homura stopped Asura in its tracks by becoming a shield in front of their mother. Please, we beg of you, we have a solution. What solution? Give us a chance. I have a plan. Let us seal our mother away. She won't cause any problem. We beg of you, just don't kill her. Kaguya looked heartbroken a bit, because her children did not want to see her die. Who would, even if their parents were cruel? But in the end, she knew what she was doing and said, I will not stop, Hagoromo, Homura. Know this and know this well. And you too, deity of nature, or whoever you are. I, in the end, will win. Even if I go now. Remember this, I'm always watching. And when the time is right, I will come back. As now we see, Asura was about to leave when Kaguya shot 10 ashbound rods straight through the back of Asura, who stood there. His rage intensified as the rods began to burn, until his backs began to form the cracks, turning into ash. As Kaguya chuckled, see, even a deity has fallen to my power. You are no match for me. That is what you believe. Even if my avatar is weakened, I will choose a new one. And once I do, nobody will stop me. Mark my words, Kaguya, Hagoromo, Homura, Otsutsuki. If you cause corruption in the future, I will descend. And once I do, there will be nothing in this world that will be able to stop me. Not Kami, not Yami, and not Shinigami. We understand. And with that, a golden, sun-like energy shot out from the vessel as Asura turned into a statue of rage, intensified, half man, half lion. As Kaguya was sealed by her son. Both of them. What are we going to do with Shinju? As Hagoromo became the new Jinchuriki of Shinju and split it into 9 parts, and the final question arose, what is to be done with Asura? Hagoromo did not thought for a moment until he went to sleep, and at that night he saw the future, and his vision, it was not good. As Hagoromo got up, he was drenched in sweat from head to toe as Homura then said, Brother, you do not look good. Is everything alright? I've saw the future, brother. Not going to be great. What do you mean by that? Asura has descended again, and so has Mother. I do not know how, but both of them are going to have a clash. A battle that will decide the fate of this world, and choose whether humanity would exist or not. As both of them gulped, what are we going to do now? There's nothing we can do. It is not up to us to decide what we have to do for the future. But brother, as Hagoromo raised his hand, the fate of humanity is entirely on their own hands. Then what about the bijus that you made? We can only send them to guide them, to make sure they don't steer towards this future. But that will be altering the history, brother. I know. That is our only hope. because that is all we can do. And so they decided to teach the Bijus while Homura went away to watch over their mother in the seal after their suspicions of the future, and Bijus were taught to always guide humanity and whatnot, until his own children are born, who after his death waged war. Hagoromo was sad that he could not pass down the knowledge of Asura. It had slipped his mind, and then he realized it was all the doing of Kami, Yami, and Shinigami. They did not want the knowledge of the deity to fall down to the future. They wanted the people to learn from their own mistakes and choose their own fate. And as for the Bijus, it was the trump card of Hagoromo. But what followed suit is we already know. Bijus were captured by the Lord First Hokage of Konoha, Hashirama Senju, and given to the others as a form of gifts. The very beings that were created to guide them were distributed as properties, and once that was done, they were used as tools for war, as the first Great Shinobi War happened. And soon after, a few years later, under a new leadership, the second Great Shinobi War happened, and this time, much more devastation was caused. Many of the innocents lost their lives and were written off as just people who just were there at the wrong time. And then there was the third Great Shinobi War, in which a new hero erupted. But that hero had killed so many. He has butchered down thousands of people just to save his own. Iwagakure was filled with rage and sorrow and fear, and they lost 1,000 of their own. But there was nothing they could do, because they were aware that this was a war that they started. All they could do was hate the man who has caused this, Minato Namikaze. As time passed, Minato Namikaze, after the Third Great Shinobi War, was made into the Hokage, chosen by the Council of Konoha, people of Konoha, and his predecessor, Hiruzen Sarutobi, the student of the second Hokage, Tobirama Senju, who was the brother of the first Hashirama Senju. As Minato had already decided that he would settle down and marry after becoming the Hokage with his girlfriend Kushina Uzumaki, the Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed Fox, who instead of being the most calmest and one who was filled with knowledge has turned into a rage-filled beast out of all these years of torment and torture that he has been enduring, and have vowed that he will break free and burn this village down because they don't deserve it. As that is when Kushina and Minato realized that they were going to be parents, as Kushina had become pregnant, and not with one or two children, but 3 of them. It was October 9th at night time when the 3 of the children were born. Everything was going accordingly to the plan of Minato and Konoha. Since the female Jinchuriki deal became weakened, extremely weakened to the close of the point to breaking free the Biju when they were under labor, it was a cautious moment, but everything went well. Kushina was heaving because she was exhausted. Giving birth to triplets was not easy for anyone, and especially for the first-time mother, but she had done it. As everyone was congratulating her, that is when he appeared. Masked person who stole one of her own children and after doing so pointed a kunai to its neck, giving them a warning. He wanted one thing and one thing alone. Hand over the Nine-Tailed Fox, and I'll let the kid live. If you try to do anything or pull anything, I will kill him. And that was more than enough to push Kushina on the edge, and she accepted, and that is when the deal was made. As soon as Minato was going forward to grab the child, a hissing sound was heard as the child was thrown to the other side. Kushina let out a scream. Minato, thinking fast enough, sent out a shadow clone to protect his other 2 children, while the others escaped as he went to protect his own son, throwing the rag away as there was an explosion erupting there, and only returning back to smoke where he found nothing. Kushina and that man was gone. He arrived at a safe point and gave his son to the clone, and arrived away on top of the Hokage monument, searching for Kushina until he sensed the Kyuubi. As soon as the Kyuubi no Yoko was released, it was placed under a genjutsu thanks to the Sharingan user, who was the masked person revealed to be. And he descended the Kyuubi, now under the mind control of it like a rabid beast, on top of the village. Immediately, Konoha forces were in action. A lot of deaths were already happening, but they needed to protect their home. They knew they were going to face an enemy that they couldn't win against. But as Minato was about to go, the masked person appeared again to delay Minato's entrance, and that caused even a lot more of deaths. The masked person couldn't hold on the legendary fourth Hokage because of his speed and techniques, and in the end Minato was able to overpower him. And the man had to escape because he was wounded, saying this to him: "Choose, Minato. Me or your village. Look behind you. The destruction and that is happening, it is all going to be on your hands. We'll pay for this. I am going to find you. And trust me when I say this, once I do, you will pay. That is, until there is something left to protect. You are going to choose one, so choose carefully." In the end, Minato looked down as the man chuckled and vanished. "Good choice," he said as he lost words. Minato, realizing that he has no other choice, arrived back to where his wife was, whom he had rescued already before all this. As he then convinced Kushina that they need to seal the Biju within their kids, and so the plan was devised. Chakra will be split up, and so will be the soul of the Biju, so that the Biju will be weakened to the point that it won't harm their newborns. And so that is what was done. Minato and Kushina used the 10 pentagram seal each on all 3 of the children, and in the end they were sealed, without sacrificing their soul to the Shinigami. But the devastation was too much, far too much. The borderline of the village alongside the outer walls were destroyed, and more than 1,000 civilians were killed, and the shinobi toll, it was increasing as they were counting. The Biju has cleaved off half of the Bijus, half of the army in half with his claws. And as now the Biju was sealed away, the dust began to settle. People began to realize that now was not the time for cheering, but to gather and mourn. As this was going on, we see Hiruzen Sarutobi, battered and wounded, arrive where Minato was, still adrenaline in his body, pumping. "Minato?" His head snapped towards Hiruzen. "What?" "Hiruzen-sama, we need to have a talk, son. You need to go and gather everyone and arrive inside the Hokage office as fast as you can." "Yes, I understand. I understand." And so Minato arrived half an hour later, after making sure that Kushina and his children were being monitored in the hospital room, to Hokage office, where Hiruzen was waiting alongside the elders. "How in the hell did this happen? Is Biwaku-sama safe?" "Wait, she was there?" "Yes, she was the one taking the in charge of this all. You did not knew? Damn it, Biwaku." Hiruzen realized that his wife hasn't told him that she was going to be the one to make the delivery. I'm gonna make sure. She escaped from there, that is all I have seen." "She will be fine by then." As Hiruzen made a clone to make sure that his wife was. As the clone left, Hiruzen then said, "Alright, now let's get down to the business. How in the hell did this happen?" As Minato began to explain about the man that was there and how it all happened because of him, in the end, people that were there were not happy, as Tanzo then said. Regardless of how this would have happened, that man is dangerous. If he is able to put Kyuubi in a genjutsu, that says something about him. And the worrisome thing is, he claimed to be Madara Uchiha, and that caused the blood to run cold in the elders as well as the previous Hokage. This cannot be Minato. I am not saying that he is, but he mentioned his name and said that he was him. If that is true, then no, it can't be Wado. There's nothing to worry about. Tell that to the people that have died, Danzo. More than thousands of people are dead. This is the biggest event that has happened in the history of Konoha, where we lost so many people, and it was not even a war. As all of them turned quiet, As Homura then said, regardless of what you think, Koharu, we need to make sure if this is Madara, and if this is, then what? Said Danzo. Then we will bring him in. We can't just bring him in. His only match was Hashirama Senju, said Danzo. And he's not here anymore, unfortunately, Danzo. Minato is right, Danzo. Even if we freak out, it won't do anything to us. All we can do is hope for the best and find this perpetrator and bring him to justice. And so, after that, a week passed, and everything was going slowly. The recovery, the awareness that this really had happened to them, and finally the funerals. As on the day the funeral was held and everyone got free, Minato had been arriving back towards home only to find a man standing in front of the gate. His eyes wet. Right, Sensei? Hey kid. Brought some gifts, but I hope the, situation was quite different than this. But anyways, congratulations to you and Kushina for having triplets. Yeah. Thank you, Sensei. I know this was supposed to be your day, Minato. Your happiest day. Yeah, it turned out to be not, because I know, kid. There's nothing you need to worry about, or tell me to. Because I am out there looking for that man. Already. Sensei told me everything. He did? Yes. Yes, he did. Let's get inside, we need to talk. There's something else I want to discuss. And once inside, your eye began to pace left and right, and then he said, I don't know how to say this, if the time is right or not, but I am quite stressed out. Stressed out about what? About the future. There is going to be a huge war between a deity and a goddess, a corrupt one. And the only person who can stop this is the Child of Prophecy. Child of Prophecy? Yes, a child chosen by the Kami-Yami and Shinigami. Said Jiraiya after taking a pause. How can this be, Sensei? And who even is this child? That is why I'm here. Because that child is here, in this home. Who? Our children? One of them, yes. All we have to do is monitor them. See and observe who is the most capable of them. And then we train him. Because he has a huge responsibility on his shoulders. And if we fail, either the deity destroys this world and ends humanity, or it's going to be the corrupted goddess that will take away the chakra and kill us all. In both situations, it was dire for them, and so they realized the importance. But Sensei, are you sure? I am sure about this. The deity is called Asura, a deity who was created from the very wrath of the people who were oppressed, for the very injustice that was happening here. Their cries, their sorrows, their woes created him. He knows nothing more than rage. And then there is the corrupted goddess. I do not know her name. All I am aware of that it is called the Rabbit Goddess. If she descends, all hell will break loose. She will take away and strip us away from our chakra, and we will be killed once that happens, Minato, because the whole world depends upon it. But our son, how will he fight with it, or daughter? I don't know if our child is capable enough, or even if it is our child or not. It is your children. Your names were mentioned. Both of yours. As Kushina slumped down onto the couch, hands shaking. We already gone through a crisis. We can't. This is too much of fate to bear for one child alone. Yes, we are aware. But there is no other chance or choice. And so, in the end, Minato and Kushina agreed. They were under a lot of stress because one of their child's life was about to be turned upside down. The future that they had been told was nothing that they had wished for their children, but now that they were pushed into it, there was nothing more that they could do but to make sure that they would be able to survive it. As the time began to pass by, Minato and Kushina began to observe the three children of their own as Menma, Mito, and Naruto began to grow. Menma was aggressive, and much more forceful with his training, always training to be a perfect, and was labeled even as a generational talent because of him being able to not only unlock his chakra at the age of 3, but also mastering the basic taijutsu katas and even able to use a single jutsu. Mita was no different. She was a seal mistress, a strong one at the age of 3, being able to create storage seals and a lot others. While their third brother, the Jinchuriki of the soul of the Kyuubi, Naruto, he was overshadowed by them. He was not great. He was a hard worker, yes, but he was not able to achieve anything. In comparison to Menma and Mito, he was mediocre. But by the standards of the others, he was completely normal and fine kid. But Minato and Kushina couldn't see that. They were stressed out about the future, and so Naruto was already cut short from the race. Time passed. Naruto began to notice that his parents were ignoring him and were always stressed out. Whenever Naruto tried to get their attention, they would yell at him and even tell him to please, for the time being, leave them alone. Until that please also disappeared from the sentence. It was just get the hell out of here, Naruto, or leave us alone. Can't you see we're stressed? Naruto was continuously heartbroken, to the point that he was close to giving up. It was at the age of 8 that Naruto had entered the Shinobi Academy after passing the test on his own. He watched as the other parents arrived and congratulated their kids, but his parents, they weren't even there. It was all on his own. Looking down at the admission accepted paper after he aced the test, he sighed and arrived back at home, where he saw that his family, after a stressful day, was having dinner quietly. I'm back. Where were you the whole day, son? I was in the Shinobi Academy taking the test. Minato's eyes widened for a bit until his eyes narrowed. Why didn't you tell us about this? I did, but you told me that take care of my problems on my own. Minato's eyes widened for a bit again. How did you do? I passed. And with flying colors. So you are good at the civilian level. Huh. Shows how much you're worth, Naruto, said Menma. Don't boast about this, brother, said Mito, a strict sibling but an older sister to Naruto. You have still a lot to learn. It's only the beginning. Sit down and eat with us, please. While Menma chuckled. Yeah, listen to your sister. Sit down and eat. You too, Nisan. Please be quiet and eat. Mother and father were speaking. Let them speak. It's not our place to speak in their stead. As Minato and Kushina then said, Naruto, we're happy for you, son. Yeah, no worries and problems at all. And so Naruto then decided to go upstairs. Where are you going? Said Kushina, I don't feel like eating. I ate outside today with my friends. Said Naruto with a fake chuckle. As soon as he arrived upstairs and closed the door shut, he slumped on his bed, sighing and looking up towards the ceiling. Because he was hoping for a little bit more, maybe. Maybe a hug? Maybe good job, son, or we're proud of you? Not this. His own siblings, it hurted him to admit it, but they always mocked him. As Naruto's stomach growled, he opened the drawer nearby and brought out a small snack, ate that and went to sleep, because that is all he could do for the time being. While unaware to him, something within him was awakening. A golden flame had ignited. A small but brief one, but it did. The only being that noticed it was Kyuubi no Yoko's soul that was trapped within it. Is that? No. I am aware of that power, but it's faint. But from where? It's something that I am aware of. That makes my skin crawl, but can't point my finger at it. As on the other side, Naruto woke up and continued his routine. 2 more years passed as such. Naruto had become a quiet child, someone who was heartbroken, because his parents didn't appreciate his, efforts. Naruto tried his hardest in the academy for the 2 years, studying hard as well as acing the tests and even learning from the senseis and practicing on his own from afternoon to sundown until he couldn't move an inch of his body. Naruto was working really, really hard. always unappreciated. And now, even hearing the mocks of the people that how his siblings were generational talents and prodigies while he was a stain, a shit stain to the name of Hokage. Naruto hated it, but there was nothing he could do. Just deep down, he himself admitted that this might be true. Unaware to him, the flames that had ignited as a small spark was growing, as QB was slowly realizing what it was. As the words of Asura ran through its memories and head. Mark my words, even if my this avatar dies, in the future a new will be reborn. And once that happens, humanity won't be saved from me. And that was when QB realized, with very fear, because not only his Jinchuriki was a boy who he hated to the core because of the Uzumaki clan ties and all that, but also the incarnation of the avatar of Asura himself, half lion, half man. He did not knew how it will happen, but flames were there. They were burning brighter day by day. The boy didn't know it, but all his anger, hatred, and sorrow was going into it. That is why he wasn't able to express it. Menma on the other side has also begun to do something, and that was to tease Naruto. Not just a brotherly friendly tease. Tease him so hard that it would make him embarrassed and even a bit hurt. Like throwing water balloons with a bit of pointy rocks in them at Naruto, causing him to have a bit of bruises. And then not only that, pranking the others with harmful pranks like paint bombs, as well as destroying the public property and blaming that on Naruto as well. In both standards, Naruto was punished in front of the people. And Naruto, he did not have anything to defend himself. He tried his best, but nobody would listen to him. And it got so bad that even after all that, an Ichiraku ramen shop prank happened, which burned down the whole shop. Minato was called and Naruto was brought there. Naruto begged them that it wasn't him, but in the end he was thrown into one-night jail. A 10-year-old child was thrown there for his punishment, as Minato paid for the losses and all that, and he was banned by the Ichirakus from the shop because of what he has done. Naruto cried whole night alone in that cold chamber of a cell that was dark. He was treated completely like criminal for the 24 hours, and when he came out he had trauma, huge amount of it. But not only that, Kyubi was in fear because the flames have grown from a small one to something that literally looked like a burning hell, as an avatar could be seen from rising from within. The head and mane of it, with glowing golden eyes. As Naruto returned home, he didn't greet anyone. He looked traumatized as he, with his head down, was about to go upstairs, until he bumped into someone. "Watch where you're going, criminal," said Menma, and pushed Naruto down from his stairs. Naruto didn't look up at him. He looked only down, getting up and apologizing, and then left, while Menma chuckled, as Mita stopped him right in the tracks. "I know what you're doing, Menma, Nisan. He's our brother. Why push him to the edge? Don't you think your pranks have gone too far? What is it to you? He's an insult to our name. People call him that. People call a lot of things. To everyone. Even to you. Some call you a bastard child who is born with a silver spoon in his mouth. What do you think about that? Who calls me that? Tell me!" See? You can't handle it, can you? How do you expect the others to handle it? Mark my words, Peter. If you try to do anything or tell this to anyone, I will punish you. The same way I did to Naruto. You can try, but do you think you can honestly go against me? Look, Naruto is our little brother, whether you like it or not. He is going to stay here. Once I become the clan head, he will be kicked out. He will have nowhere to go. No family, no nothing. Father and mother already hate him to the core and are thinking of even letting him go, abandoning him. As Mito's eyes widened for a bit, They wouldn't do that. But Mito didn't realize that how wrong she would be. A week later, Jiraiya arrived and Naruto was brought down and was told that he had 1 hour to pack his stuff and he would be moving into an apartment and will be dropping the name Uzumaki and even Namikaze. Naruto's eyes widened for a bit as he asked, "Why?" As Kushina chuckled and said, "Because of what you have done. This is the punishment until we return. Live and make a name for yourself and improve your behavior with the civilians. That is why you will be left behind, living for you and fending for your own self. You will be not given a single penny. Survive on your own. This is your punishment." As Naruto couldn't say anything, but stood there and cried. "You should have thought about that when you have done all those atrocities, Naruto," said Minato, as Naruto went upstairs and packed a bit of his clothes and began to arrive downstairs where Menma stood, and he placed a foot in front of Naruto as Naruto fell down the stairs, getting himself a bit injured. His mother looked towards him and said, "Get up, it's not that bad." As Naruto, he with a sad small smile got up, grabbed his bag and then walked out. Bowed his head and said thank you and only one thing, forgive me, and then went towards his apartment, led by an Anbu. Once inside, Naruto dropped the bag and began to bawl his eyes out, because he did not knew what he has done. He was ignored. He was always called names, and now being framed as a criminal and left to be fending for his own self. It was too much for him. He didn't deserve this. But what Naruto did not know was the flames of injustice and all that were burning within him would soon take over. Naruto's rage began to intensify. Naruto continued to ignore everyone for the next few months. Didn't even bother to go with the civilians. He only arrived into the forest of death to hunt, failed a few times until he was able to get something, ate it over a fire that he started, and returned home. But the people, they would vandalize his home, call him names, call him a terrorist even. Naruto's rage was continuously increasing, until one night someone broke into his home and tried to beat some sense into him for his revenge. Naruto, he had had enough, and suddenly was beginning to burn so hot that the man's hand actually had burn marks on it. As Naruto rose to his feet, his eyes burning golden. "You all have done enough. I have seen just how cruel you are. This child has done nothing wrong, like all those who are suffering out there. I have decided all those who have done a single wrong in their life, they will be dealt with." And so the man was burnt by the righteous flames of Asura, who has been reborn, and let out a roar. Kyubi, who was hearing and seeing this, was feeling crawls appearing all over his skin. "No. What have you done, you damn humans? The avatar of destruction has been reborn, and there's nothing he would stop until he finally achieves it." Kaguya even sensed it as well, as Asura looked towards the moon, which was burning brightly. "I will deal with you secondly. First I will do and deliver my justice." As Asura began to walk into the streets, people halted and looked towards him, as that is when Hiruzen and the Anbus arrived. "Who are you?" "I am Asura, the deity of wrath." Hearing that name, immediately the prophecy clicked into Hiruzen's head. Lord Asura, but how?" "You all have done this boy wrong." As the chest widened open, and within it was a sleeping form of Naruto, Hiruzen was in deep shock, and immediately realized, You chose Naruto as your vessel." "Yes, I chose him to be my vessel." With that, Konoha in the nighttime was shining brightly, and screams escaped everywhere as the lion of man butchered down everyone. Asura's wrath wasn't controlled only there. He, after being done with Konoha, his claws dripping with blood, walked out. His mane was tainted red as he arrived at the Valley of the End and washed his hands and face until he smelled, sniffing the air, as suddenly he disappeared and grabbed by the neck choke. Zetsu, you have the essence of Kaguya. You are her will, aren't you? Mercy. I am not merciful. I am vengeance. I am rage personified. With that, he chomped down onto the head, cleaving it off and burning it with his flames of righteousness. Zetsu was dead with a single strike. And that is when the memories of Zetsu came to Asura, their plan, and all that Zetsu has done. It seems that people were pushed to be like this by him. No worries. I will set it straight. And so, Asura continued his journey towards Rain Village. While back at Mount Miyaboku, a letter has arrived. Desperate one, from Hiruzen. Jiraiya heard it and immediately his eyes went, "We have to go back to Konoha. It's emergency." And once they arrived, they found that the whole village has been burnt down to ashes. Nobody was spared. People were burnt down, some alive, but barely. While those who were innocent, they didn't feel any pain. They laid down, closing their eyes, as if they were resting. But they were dead. The only person that was alive was Hiruzen Sarutobi. And he had a pale face and an expression that revealed that he has seen something that was beyond reasoning, beyond explanation. Hiruzen-sama, what happened? The deity of rage was reborn yesterday night and delivered justice on Konoha. Who was this deity? I thought that we were training to stop it, and Kagi, this rabbit goddess figure. It was Naruto. As their eyes wide, what? No, it can't be. It was Naruto. Naruto is the avatar of Asura, the deity of rage. It had descended last night, after saying that a lot of injustice has been done to this child. As Menma fell to his back, no, it can't be. It can't be him. He's a nobody who doesn't deserve this power. Why him? What do you mean by that, Menma? As Mito, rubbing her temple, then said, he is the one who has been committing all those atrocities in the name of Naruto. Naruto never did any of that. He was punished, abused, and took it all, while begging and pleading. But nobody listened. In the end, he chose silence. And even in silence, you all betrayed him. You just couldn't leave him alone, would you? Maybe, Mito. But Asura has been reborn. We have to stop him. But what about the second one? How are we gonna stop her? Because Asura is set to fight with her first. We are not aware. And we do not know. As while this was being discussed, on the other side, we see Asura had made his way to where the Akatsuki were. And the village was burning down, Akatsuki at his feet, begging for mercy, but none was given to them. The 10-tailed husk vibrated in fear, shaking violently as Asura stood in front of it, digging its claws into it and causing cracks to rip through the whole statue. With plunging his fist down, the statue crumbled down to ashes. Next, he continued on. Iwa, Kumo, Kiri, and Suna, and other villages as well. All of them were visited. Gato, demons, all those, even the Snow Country's tyrant daimyo, the one who killed his brother to take his place, all were wiped out clean. The whole elemental nation was cowering in fear because of the deity of rage was reborn, and it was all thanks to Konoha and its incompetence that this has happened. But if anything, they were glad that Konoha has suffered the first and the most ferocious attack. Minato and the others were trying to track down Asura. But Asura, he was finding a way to the moon and was able to find a gate which led through a water portal. And once Asura arrived there, he stood in front of a maze of roads. Following the one with the scent of Kaguya, he arrived. We meet again, Kaguya. You have arrived after destroying everything down there. I am already chained. Chained you may be. But it's time that we finish what we started. As the flames hotter than sun begin to ignite from his mane, his surrounding, as he glared and growled like a lion towards Kaguya, until Hagoromo and Homura appeared. Please, Asura-sama, calm down. You have delivered your justice, and rightfully so, my lord, but please, not this. She is the one who caused this. Step out of my way or I too will burn you as well. Even if you are dead, your soul still linger. As Kami, Yami, and Shinigami themselves appeared. Asura, calm down, our child, said Kami. But mothers, you are all aware that I was created for the very being. I am yours in this world, and the people your creations rage in personified. All those who were wronged, including my avatar. We are aware, and that is why we ask you to stop. Kaguya Otsutsuki will never move from here. If she does, her soul is ours. Kaguya's eyes widened because she realized that she was never a truly goddess. If anything, she was nothing more than a fraud. I will listen to you, mother. Say your goodbyes there because you are coming back with us. Goodbyes? I do not understand. Your avatar, he will become one with you. You will be recognized as both Naruto and Asura from here on out. The deity of justice and rage. The one who fights for the unjust. So, he has to go and say goodbye to his family? Yes. Thank you, Kami, Yami, and Shinigami-sama. Do not intervene, because you are the ones who have set this flame ignited. As in the end, they were tasked to gather all the 9 Bijus and take it away, because this world didn't deserve the 9 Bijus. And so that is what Hagoromo and Homura did while Naruto arrived in Konoha, where Minato and the others were. And seeing Naruto in the form of half lion, half man, growling, they all felt chills run down their spine, especially Menma. Mercy. I'm your brother, please. You're no brother of mine. As suddenly, Naruto appeared instead of Asura, standing there looking down because he remembered everything that has happened and who he was. Naruto-san, Minato and Kushina tried to get close. Naruto raised his hand up. There's no reason for you to all treat me differently. All my life, I've been mistreated. With injustice and with neglect. All I ever wanted was just to be a son who you could say that we love him. And he may not be perfect, but he is still our good son. I guess that was even too much to ask from you all. And Menma-ni-san, you are my brother. How can you do all this to me? What did I do to you to deserve this? You were already more strong, more powerful, and had everyone eating out of your hand. Why were you so insecure when it came to me? And you, Mitone-san. You saw everything, but you never told anyone about me, my suffering. As they all looked down. What Asura has done, you all deserve it. But I'm here to tell you that I'm leaving with him, because he and I are becoming one. And I'm going to heavens, where my true parents are. Parents of Asura at least, Kami, Yami, and Shinigami. I'll be with them, and I'll be judging you all equally. And with that, golden light emerged as Minato begged, We ask for your forgiveness, son. I'm not the one to forgive. As Naruto turned into the deity again, Asura won. I'm the one to deliver justice for all the injustice you have done. With that, he disappeared, leaving them a warning. a chilling one, as they realized that they were the ones to set prophecy in motion, even half of it, but still the dangerous part of it as well. In the end, all the beaches had disappeared. Menma and Mito never became the children of prophecy. Konoha had half of its population dead. More than half of it, in fact. The whole world had the same scenario going on around. Because thanks to Konoha, a deity was awakened. Someone who should have remained asleep. Someone who should not have awoken, but it was. As this is where I will be leaving the short movie off, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel and follow me on my other channels as well, as this is Apollo Uchiha and I'm signing off for the day. Peace.